City Council, and thank you all for coming today. As you see, we are a crowded room today, so I would ask that everyone standing along the wall, please stand single file so we can allow for folks to pass in front of you. And if the alarm sounds, we have firefighters posted at each door. Please exit accordingly without panic. Thank you very much. There still are some open seats, so if folks come in, please take those available seats within the audience. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Fire Marshal Molnar. Thank you.
And thank you for not being at the Isles Yacht Club last night.
Good morning. I'd like to call the March 4th meeting of the Punta Gorda City Council to order. Let the record reflect that all officials and all city officials and our officers are present. We'll now stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our gracious and loving Heavenly Father, first we thank you for the privilege of living in a country where we enjoy the many freedoms provided by our founding fathers, in their wisdom, the freedom to assemble and to speak our minds without fear of retribution. We also wish to invoke your special blessings on the results of our work in this council. The success we have made are all with your help and guidance. We should not forget to ask your continued blessing and guidance for those city employees who have contributed so much of their talents and personal commitments to the improvements of our city. All these things we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and it's wonderful to see all of you here. We have a number of proclamations this morning. We will begin with one that I will read. Whereas Mr. Jim Ross was born in Tuscaloosa, Illinois on May 29, 1924, and has been a resident of Punta Gorda for the last 10 years. And whereas his 50-year aviation career began in 1942 when he attended the Dallas Aviation School in Dallas, Texas. And whereas in 1943 he enlisted in the United States Navy, where he was assigned as a flight engineer mechanic on the Martin, Mariner, PBM flying boats and the consolidated PBY Catalina, and served with the VP 105 Squadron Fleet Air Wing 7, which patrolled the Bay of Biscayne looking for German submarines. And whereas throughout his career he has worked on numerous military aircraft such as the B-52 bomber, C-124 Globemaster, the Douglas Sky Raider, and F-4C Phantom Jet Fighter, as well as many civilian planes, including his own Aircoupe, which he continues to fly today. And whereas Mr. Ross was recently awarded the Federal Aviation Administration's Charles Taylor Master Mechanic Award, now therefore the City Council of the City of Punta Gorda, Florida does hereby proclaim March 4th, 2015 as Jim Ross Day and encourages citizens to honor him for his service to his country and congratulate him for his achievements in the field of aviation. Passed and duly adopted in regular session this 4th day of March 2015, City of Punta Gorda, Carolyn Freeland, Mayor. And we're very happy to have Mr. Jim Ross accepting. Where is Jim? Mr. Ross, congratulations. Thank you. Would you like to say a few words? Please take the podium.
I'll pass.
Okay. Thank you. Our next proclamation will be read by former Mayor and Council Member Rachel Kiesling.
Thank you, my pleasure. I have quite a colorful group to proclaim today, so I'm excited. Proclamation, City of Punta Gorda, Florida. Whereas the Royal Order of the Juan Ponce de Leon Conquistadors was formed in 1979 to commemorate and perpetuate the memory of Juan Ponce de Leon, his discovery of Florida and of Charlotte Harbor in 1513, his documented first attempt to establish a European colony in America on Charlotte Harbor in 1521, and his impact on the establishment of the city of Punta Gorda. And whereas the Ponce de Leon conquistadors have since visited Palencia, Spain, a major city nearby to Santerves de Campos, the place where Juan Ponce de Leon was born, and San Juan, Puerto Rico, where he served as governor, not only of Puerto Rico, but of land he named La Florida, thereby strengthening the ties between Punta Gorda and its sister cities. And whereas the people of the city of Punta Gorda wish to show their appreciation and support to the Ponce de Leon conquistadors for their efforts in commemorating the memory of Juan Ponce de Leon through the Ponce de Leon Discovery of Florida Ball, their recreation of his landing in Charlotte Harbor, you won't be able to miss that, I'm sure, their efforts at promoting culture exchanges, their support of local organizations and charities, their dedication to history, and the zeal in which they carry out all of their activities. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Punta Gorda, Florida, does hereby proclaim March 7th, 2015 as Juan Ponce de Leon Conquistador Day in the City of Punta Gorda, encouraging all citizens to join in paying tribute on this day. Passed and duly adopted in regular session this 4th day of March 2015, Carolyn Freeland, Mayor. And accepting would be Conquistador Sexton and his troop of merrymen.
Would you like to say a few words? Please take the mic if you'd like to say a few words.
I have one, yes.
Thank you very much. We very much appreciate the city's recognition of what we do and what we give back and the zeal in which we do it. But we try to be involved in everything. I know you got a busy schedule, make this brief, but we are doing this is the 502nd anniversary of Ponce de Leon's landing in Charlotte Harbor. And we are reenacting that landing this Saturday. And we'll be sailing around, floating around, or whatever, the harbor for a couple of hours with beads and cannons, and landing at the Sheraton's Tiki Hut at noon, followed by a pig roast, open to the public. And we hope you all will maybe come and attend, or at least the landing ceremony itself. So thank you again for recognizing what we do to the city, the great city of Punta Gorda. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Our next proclamation will be read by Councilmember Kim Devine.
Thank you, my pleasure. Proclamation, City of Punta Gorda, Florida. Whereas the Archway Institute for Mental Health and Addictive Disorder, a 501(c) nonprofit organization based in St. Louis, Missouri, commits to support, advocate, and actively participate in promoting a drug-free Punta Gorda. And whereas the Archway Institute is committed to reducing the stigma surrounding these disorders by helping educate and bring awareness about these disorders to individuals, families, and the community at large. And whereas the Archway Institute will provide financial assistance where possible to individuals in the Punta Gorda area who want to be in a recovery program but do not have financial resources available. And whereas the Archway Institute will sponsor its first charity golf outing at Twin Isles Country Club on March 14, 2015, with a significant portion of the proceeds being donated to the Charlotte Behavioral Health Center to assist individuals who want to be in a recovery program. And whereas education and awareness materials surrounding these issues will be delivered to over 5,000 individuals in this area through radio, newspaper, and other media. Now therefore be it proclaimed that March 14, 2015 shall be known in the City of Punta Gorda as Archway Institute for Mental Health and Addictive Disorder Day for their commitment of service to the Punta Gorda community. Passed and duly adopted in regular session the 4th day of March 2015, City of Punta Gorda, Florida, Carolyn Freeland, Mayor. And accepting is, I always get this, Connie, Keith, or Jessica?
Jessica. Maybe all of them.
Oh, Connie, Keith, and Jessica. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Would one of you want to make some comments?
Okay, I'm Connie, this is Keith, and that's Jessica. I guess we're all here. And I feel like we're very underdressed considering I forgot my hat and, no, but on a little more serious note today, thank you so much. We are representing Dan and Jan Stuckey, who are on their way to St. Louis as we speak for the Archway Institute. So thank you for this very nice honor. We thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Tom Cavanaugh will read our next proclamation.
Thank you. Proclamation, City of Punta Gorda, Florida. Whereas surveying has been an essential element in the development of the human environment since the dawn of recorded history and is instrumental in the definition of legal boundaries for land ownership, as well as the planning and execution of nearly every form of construction, with its most familiar uses in the field of transportation, land development, communications, energy delivery, and mapping. And whereas surveyors and mappers are counted among the founding leaders of our country, including George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, among many others, and were instrumental in the formation of the layout of property boundaries in the United States, which have provided our citizens the enjoyment of property ownership. And whereas the surveying and mapping profession requires special education and training, including the knowledge of mathematics, trigonometry, and geometry, as well as the related physical and applied sciences tempered by the requirements of law for evidence and possession. And whereas surveyors and mappers are uniquely qualified and licensed to determine and describe land and water boundaries for the management of natural resources and protection of private and public property rights. Now therefore, the City Council of the City of Punta Gorda, Florida, does hereby proclaim the week of March 15th to the 21st, 2015 as Surveyors and Mappers Week, and invites all citizens to join surveyors and mappers in using their talents for the good of the community, as well as recognizing and appreciating the talents of others. Passed and duly adopted in the regular session this 4th day of March 2015, City of Punta Gorda, Florida. Carolyn Freeland, Mayor, and accepting will be Derek Miller.
Derek actually grew up here in Punta Gorda and has been here for quite a long time. I'm the county surveyor for Charlotte County, and on behalf of all the surveyors, we want to thank you for this proclamation and the honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And our last proclamation for this morning will be read by Councilmember Nancy Prafke.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor for me to be able to read this one. Proclamation, City of Punta Gorda, Florida, whereas the bicycle is a viable and environmentally sound form of transportation and an excellent form of recreation, and whereas millions of Floridians will experience the joys of bicycling during the month of March through educational programs, races, commuting events, trail work days, helmet promotion, charity events, or just getting out and going for a ride. And whereas bicycling activities and attractions have great potential to have a positive impact on Punta Gorda's economy and tourism industry. And whereas creating bicycle-friendly communities has been shown to improve citizens' health, well-being, and quality of life, and to boost community spirit, improve traffic safety, and reduce pollution and congestion. And whereas the education of bicyclists and motorists on the proper and safe operation of bicycles is important to ensure the safety and comfort of all users. And whereas the Bicycle-Friendly Community Committee of Team Punta Gorda will be promoting safe bicycling through its free loaner bicycle program and the annual Pedal and Play bicycling event. And whereas the City of Punta Gorda has and continues to invest significant funds into improving the bicycling infrastructure within the city. And whereas March has been declared Bicycle Month in the state of Florida. Now therefore, the City Council of the City of Punta Gorda, Florida, does hereby proclaim the month of March 2015 as Bicycle Month in the City of Punta Gorda, Florida, and urges all who support bicycling to participate in planned events and urges road users to share the road safely with bicyclists. Passed and duly adopted in regular session this 4th day of March 2015, City of Punta Gorda, Florida. Carolyn M. Freeland, Mayor. And accepting this is Bob Armstrong, who is the co-chair of the Team Punta Gorda Bicycle Friendly Community.
Thank you.
I'd just like to thank the City Council on behalf of Team Punta Gorda's Bicycle Friendly Committee. We work closely with the city in trying to help them promote bicycle safety in the city, and also we're working towards achieving the League of American Bicyclists coveted designation as a bicycle-friendly community. You may notice there's several of us here with different shirts on today. Our co-chair of the Pedal and Play, Bob Bechtel, if you could stand up, is here. The Pedal and Play event will bring over 600 people to Punta Gorda on March 28th. We invite you all to participate in that. Bob also has some of these beautiful shirts if you would like to help promote the city. Yes, thank you. If you would like to help promote bicycling in Punta Gorda and wear one of those shirts, they will be available outside the City Hall after the meeting. And I would also like to acknowledge the team president, Shelley Harris. Shelley, if you would stand up for team support of our activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just want to put a special plug in for Pedal and Play because I was the ride director for 3 years, and so it has a special meaning to me. But this year it's significant because the mystery tour is trying to find who put the hit on Ponce, and it's a serious tour. It's 10 miles, and the culprits, the suspects, are our police chief, our fire chief, our city manager, and our mayor. So somebody is the bad dude. So join me. I'm going to ride in the mystery tour. So please join me and let's find out who put the hit on Ponce.
It wasn't me. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you all. We will now have presentations. Howard?
Actually, Chief Briggs is going to do the presentation.
Thank you.
If I could have those come forward that are going to receive an award, I'd appreciate it. Excuse my voice for just a moment. Ray Briggs, proud fire chief for the city of Punta Gorda. Bear with me for a moment as I just kind of paint a picture of what occurred that night. February 1st, 2015, just after midnight, Punta Gorda Fire Department Battalion Chief and Truck 1 personnel are dispatched to Marion Avenue and Maud Street for a pickup truck and trailer in a pond sitting in 3 to 4 foot of water. In just over 2 minutes, fire crews arrived on scene and located a full-size pickup with water up to the door handle. Preparing to enter the water, Truck 1 crew put on life jackets and tied a safety rope to Lieutenant Stewart's waist. As the crew entered the water and approached the vehicle shifted and began to submerge. With water now up to the roof, Lieutenant Stewart yelled for tools to break a window. Neither door would open from the outside. Fire medic McCausland quickly swam out the tools necessary for Lieutenant Stewart to break the rear window of the truck. Fire medic McCausland returned with a rapid entry dive pack as well. With no visibility in the water, Lieutenant Stewart was able to enter through the rear window and remove the victim. Truck 1 crew advised the victim was unresponsive at this point and it took a collaborative effort of all 3 crew members to bring the unconscious and lifeless patient to the shore. Truck 1 crew carried the victim up the embankment and initiated advanced life support. The patient responded well to resuscitative efforts and quickly regained spontaneous respirations. The patient was then transported to the local ER for further evaluation. This is just a great example of how quickly things can change on any emergency scene, and it is my absolute privilege and honor to acknowledge the selfless efforts and exceptional risks that these folks took on that night. Please help me to congratulate Battalion Chief John Briggs, if you can kind of hand him out, Lieutenant Derek Stewart, firefighter paramedic Caitlin McCausland, and firefighter Sam Jones for receiving the City of Punta Gorda Distinguished Service Award. And just what a great representation of the City of Punta Gorda. Thank you all for just the honor and the privilege of doing it. Guys, I just can't say enough how well you represent us, and thank you again.
Chief, did you mention that there were some injuries to some of these personnel?
There were some minor injuries in the scheme of the whole thing. They did. Again, you folks took some exceptional risk and effort that night, and just can't tell you how much we as a community appreciate everything that you do. All right?
For sure. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome to Punta Gorda again, Sam.
Great job.
Thank you.
Great job.
And just yesterday, our neighbor had a severe incident, and again, our team was there, our firefighters, our EMTs were there very quickly to respond, and she is fine. So again, thank you. Thank you all. Now we have a service award.
We do. You're not even here. Hilarious.
He's hiding.
He has an entourage.
We have a 35 years of service award.
Wow.
Now, after 30 years, we gave a long speech. His crew is coming in. Why don't we have them all come on in?
Jen, okay with this?
We're going to do it anyway. We gave a long speech for our Public Works Director after 30 years.
Can they hear you?
We're up to 35 years. And Rick is very involved not only with the City of Punta Gorda, but also with the American Public Works Association. I'm not going to give a long speech, but it's to show you how dedicated and the kind of manager and leader and employee that we have. After 35 years, when the community adopted the 1% local sales tax, the first things out of his mouth were, now we have more projects to do. Let's get on with it. And after 35 years, for somebody to say that, it just shows how dedicated he is to the profession.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gotta take a picture. By the way, the young guy on the right, he works at our water plant.
And son, I assume son.
Son Matt.
All right. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So a few words. My wife, Joni, for those who do not know her, the community has dubbed her the name the Goat Goddess or the Goat Lady. That she knows everything about goats, and she ran 4-H for many, many years. And my son, Matt. And then my other son, Michael, who cannot be here, he's working, but he also is in public service. He's a firefighter, paramedic, and he works in Lake County. So thank you to my family. So 35 years ago, I got an interview from a buddy of mine. Of course, at that time, I was younger than him, so I was the Keeney boy who rode his bicycle around the neighborhood. So that's Johnny Lloyd, and so he's been here with the city longer than me, gave me my chance with the city, and started on the construction crew, and Johnny taught me water and sewer, so water and sewer all over the city. So, just thanks to all the councils that I've served with, city managers, the public. You're wonderful. All these employees around the room, thank you. And So the public works profession has become a passion. I didn't know that 35 years ago. So thank you. And, you know, once you get in public works, you stay. I got a long time employees. And I got one, I won't mention her name. She says, Rick, I've been with you longer than any of my husbands. So, with that, thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you so much. At this time, we will adjourn and reconvene as the, is there one more thing? I'm sorry, before we adjourn, we have introduction of any individual that is nominated to be on a board or committee. If you'd like to introduce yourself, say a few words. Is there anyone that would like to introduce themselves who is nominated for a board or committee of the city? I always miss that. Thank you. Okay, we will now reconvene as the Community Redevelopment Agency. Morning, welcome.
Water and sewer lines are because Doug laid those things. He personally knows where they are.
Good morning.
Isn't that amazing?
They don't know what they're going to be missing.
See just the top on the bicycle.
Yeah, I'm a spokesperson. That's right. Thank you. $20.
I'd like now to call to order the Community Redevelopment Agency. And again, all officials, city officials.
Can we have the doors closed, please?
Thank you. All are present. We will first have citizen comments on CRA agenda items only. This includes our project status report, approval of minutes, our invoice for legal services. Is there anyone that wishes to speak on any of these items? All right, moving along then. Our CRA project status report, please. Sir, would you mind closing the door? He's closing it. Thank you. Howard? Oh, you're waiting for your projector?
Wake up.
Oh, it's coming up. Okay, it's coming up. Howard Kunick, CRA Director. Okay, it's coming alive. The marina continues to be booked, and Dockmaster has a waiting list for those who need slips. Community room is being well used, and 29 people now are staying on their boats for various time frames in the marina. And the pump-out vessel gives you a little idea of 84 pump-outs through February 24th. That's the month of February. So they continue to cover quite a bit of the harbor. Lashley Park improvements, the repurposing of the restrooms by the fishing pier, that's done. Painted. It's now going to be the storage bin.
Excuse me, Howard, is someone's phone on? Thank you. Go ahead, please.
The marina building painting, the bid should be back this Friday. And we can get on with it. We're going to be painting it the same colors as they are now. But the first job that the painter has to do is seal up underneath where we think there's the leak. The windowsill is done. They have to seal up down below. We're going to test it again. and then hopefully that'll pass and we can finish the painting.
Okay.
The repairs will be done inside the building thereafter. The landscaping is well underway in the courtyard, and then the perimeter railing is the last project to do.
Yes, Tom.
Howard, what's the time frame on the repair of the inside of the Marina building? When do you anticipate that quote being?
As soon as the leak is fixed,
And when will that be?
as soon as we get the painter on site. The bids will be in Friday. Procurement will evaluate the bids. These are not difficult bids to evaluate. We're hiring a painter, and they need to get out there as quickly as we can to seal up the slab wall, the concrete blocks there, and we're going to have the fire department go out there and test it one more time.
Thank you.
Hopefully, it'll be done. We failed all this long. Hopefully, now we can get this thing.
They're kind of working out of cardboard boxes out there.
Yes, I know they are.
Why would this not be the contractor who's responsible for doing this work that's making sure this is sealed? Why would you, I'm not understanding why we don't hold these people responsible for the work.
Which contractor now?
Whoever did the work to fix the problem. This has been leaking. We've had a problem here for quite a while.
You mean the original builder of the building?
Well, now, I don't know if it's the original builder. We paid someone to do this work with the window and all that.
The window sills are fine.
Okay.
That work is fine.
Okay.
We think now it's down below by the last part of those concrete blocks. We think that's where it's leaking. That's our last phase to try it.
I'm just not understanding why the painter is the person who's responsible.
Well, they're
for that.
also going to be responsible for sealing up, before they paint, sealing up that bottom area.
Okay.
We think that's going to work it.
Okay, can we move on, please?
Yes.
Yeah, this is not one of our stellar efforts, by the way.
We've noticed.
There's no excuses. This is not one of our stellar efforts. The Harbor Walk. The bids for the seawall design, not the bids, the contract, the engineering work, it's been let, they're proceeding. The US 41 South Bridge Underpass, that notice to proceed for design has been issued. They're proceeding. And the marina, our city engineer has met with FDEP, and they've started talking about how we can do a footbridge. So that's moving along. Durand Street 300 block project has started. The bricks are coming up, and the sewer work is, sewer crew was there yesterday, getting ready to repair the sewers before we finish the road and re-brick it. Putting in a sidewalk there as well. Marion Avenue, we should be starting the re-bricking in March, completing it this April. Sullivan Street lighting well underway. Project completion still April. Community Park, our bids are due back tomorrow, as a matter of fact. And that's all funded by Community Development Block Grant funds. And now that I'm on that slide, also tomorrow at 6 p.m. at the Cooper Street Recreation Center, we will be holding a Community Development Block Grant community meeting to get input into the next round of projects that we want for the 2015 CDBG funds.
Rachel?
If the bids come in line with the budget, will we just hire the contractor, or does it have to come back to us again? The park will be a go at that point.
Depending on the cost, it may have to come
If
back.
it doesn't exceed like it did before. Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, I also want to raise some issues that I've heard from some of the individuals who are working in that area. And they have concerns that have been raised regarding the Cooper Street Park. That has been a site for teens to obtain drugs. And what their concern was is that this park will be a similar kind of thing where the teens will then gather again, and there'll be drug changes and things like that. At tomorrow's meeting, I will not be able to be there, but I would appreciate staff to really discuss with the neighbors, with the neighborhood, the impact of this park. And if it becomes a situation where those monies could be used more beneficially for the advancement of the neighborhood, I would ask that that come back and be reconsidered. There has just been a study that was done with regards to Trabue Woods, and they identified a number of issues that need to be addressed. Obviously, job training, housing, a number of other issues. And so I would just like for staff, because you will be there, I assume, to listen to the neighborhood. And I know this is kind of a back step, but it'd be better to spend our money on something that is, again, going to help the neighborhood.
That's going to be quite a back step. Wolf?
Kim?
Well, I'm just wondering if, I've also had those conversations over there, but I also know that those funds can only be used for certain things. And so we have to take a look at that. I don't know that, you know, I attended a lot of those meetings, and they did want the park. We were there, you know, with David and Mitchell, and we designed the park, and they talked about the park, and they didn't want a community garden. And I see that they're having some issues over there now, but I don't know, you know, don't we have a time limit on when these funds need to be spent?
We do have to spend, because some of these are previous year's dollars.
Right.
And we do have a time frame. This project here was thoroughly
vetted, I believe, at the time.
Thoroughly vetted.
I would just like for staff just to review it with the neighborhood. I guess I would hate to see this be an opportunity then for more negative activity in the area.
I wasn't, this is, you know, along that same line. I think the issue is a bigger one, and I was invited to go to a meeting in Sarasota about a community similar to Trabue Woods and how they kind of turned that community around. And I think that's what the conversation you and I got, not together, but in with people. And not about that meeting, but I think that's what they need, and they need the community to come together and do those kind of things. So I don't know that all that can happen before the time that money would have to be spent. So.
Yes, Rachel.
I think the park is an asset, and with our Punta Gorda Police Department, if they stay on top of things, I don't see it going that way. You know, people have conceptions about what goes on over there. Some are true, some are not. I haven't read the study that you are referring to, so I would really like to see that. But I see this park as an asset, and I think it would be a good addition to the neighborhood. So I would not be in favor of a back step on the park.
Yes, Nancy.
I would agree with Rachel on that. This is something that the residents asked for. They've seen us do a lot of wonderful improvements around Punta Gorda, and they're saying, bring those into our community. So they feel like this is an extension of what we've been doing throughout Punta Gorda and making us a part of things. And so I think it's very much needed, and I would agree that, you know, we ask PGPD to really help us address the other issue.
Any other comments, Jane? Okay.
Again, the state legislature now is actually starting to convene, and so they will be reviewing the $150,000 request for the Vietnam Wall. We'll see where it goes. I know we started to send letters and ask the Vietnam Wall folks to send letters, but we'll see where it goes. Harold Court Center. The lease has been signed by both parties.
Yes.
For Morgan Stanley, and building has finished their review of the preliminary plans, and we are now awaiting their final contractor, subcontractor details so we can get the work started. But
yes. Thank you. Finally. How much space is that again, Howard?
Oh, it's a couple thousand space. It's over 2,000 space. Is it? 2,800 something space. Yeah, it's
Thank
good,
you.
good size.
And as a percentage of the rentable space, where does that bring us to now? Are we getting close to that 70% mark, or still shy of that? We're still shy of that, I would think.
Yeah, because we, Creative Circle and the bike shop still don't have anybody yet, but maybe this will spur some more
So
activity.
Lindsay is not done then?
Lindsay is not done.
Okay.
Lindsay still has work to do. I do want to bring up an issue regarding the core level of maintenance in Herald Court Center. When we built Herald Court Center, we hired Thomas Ryan and Associates to do both the leasing and the maintenance. And it was a high level of maintenance. We paid quite a number of dollars to pay for the annual maintenance. A couple years later, during when the CRA funding became restrictive, values were going down, we found a way to save some dollars and take over the maintenance in-house. And it's a core level. It's not a high level of maintenance. We'll be the first to say that. We made a conscious decision as a CRA to reduce costs because our budget restrictions. And some of the issues we're seeing in the stairwells and outside and the landscaping and the trash removal, there's a lot of events going on the weekends especially. And we don't get back really at it till Monday. And we do hire out for the restroom cleaning with a contract. So we have been getting some customer complaints. Not a lot, but we have gotten some. More than one. Actually more than 3 or 4 or 5. So it's starting to surface, and especially now when the whole world seems to be in Punta Gorda. And so
It would seem to me that we would want to maintain that area just as we maintain the remainder of our parks and area. I mean, the rest of the area does not have trash around it, and I don't see why the garage or the Herald Court Center should either. And I think we should step it up a bit.
I would agree with that, yes.
I agree.
Absolutely. I've noticed some stuff that could be improved.
So what we will do then is, over the next month, before your next meeting, we will come up with a game plan, either more contract services, or I don't know how we can do more in-house, but more contract services, and we will, at least by your next meeting, we'll have a plan on how we can step up the maintenance
Okay. Is that agreeable?
Yes.
Okay.
with a budget impact.
I would hope that, along with what you're looking at, you might see what it would cost us to have in-house on weekend, an overtime, rather than a new contract. Just look at it.
Yeah, we could.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Okay, thank you.
Oh, that's it.
And that's it. This is an opportunity for, let's see, or I guess we could approve the minutes next.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
We now have the invoice of Ickard, Merrill, Cullis, Tim, Furin, and Ginsberg for services rendered to the CRA by our city attorney.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the invoice. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Now is an opportunity for citizens' comments. Any citizens wishing to comment on any CRA items? Anything related to CRA? All right, hearing none, we have opportunity for commissioner comments. Nancy?
I'm just thrilled that the contract was signed, Morgan Stanley, and that we can continue to increase the percent of the space that's been rented out in Herald Court Center. So congratulations, and thank you, David, for all your hard work, and the rest of our staff that contributed to this, and everybody, Lindsay, everyone that contributed to this.
Excellent.
Nothing.
It's not really CRA, but I was listening to the Life Saving Award given. Man, we have one of the finest life-saving fire departments in the whole country, and I think it was worthwhile to mention them. And I'm sorry to do it under CRA, but God, they're good. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Rachel?
Just Gary Harrell was here earlier. I don't see him now, but he gave us the tickets for the Navy Band concert last night. It was absolutely amazing. Tom didn't know, but they have sea chanters. They have a whole choral group that was with them. It was so great. And it was free. It was free to the public. I mean, that's of course going to get you people, but it was really outstanding. Thank you. It was really excellent. Such an amazing performance. So I just wanted to thank him and tell him I thought it was really great.
I don't know why.
Thank you.
I don't know why I thought the Navy couldn't sing, but evidently they did an outstanding
They can sing,
job.
they can play, they can do it all, really.
Just expressing my thanks at all, as well to everybody concerned with negotiating that tedious lease with Morgan Stanley. Thanks to all involved.
Jane?
I just want to mention to everyone here that we have a lot going on this weekend, and we have a lot of problems with traffic. I just want to remind everybody to have patience. Don't get upset. Turn on the radio. Sing a song to yourself. But be careful out there.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you. I don't have anything else. Again, I want to thank all of our staff who worked on the lease with Morgan Stanley. I think we've indicated that, or Lindsay indicated, it's been like a 3-year process. So this has been an ongoing activity for the past 3 years. So we're delighted that they're going to be in.
Forever.
Yes, this is it.
And delighted that they are going to be in our city center. If there is nothing else, we will adjourn.
Jane?
Sure, Jane.
Don't go.
Just let me put my jacket.
Should have told us. We should have color coordinated.
Uh-oh.
Get official
What are we
looking.
looking at, Alicia?
Thank you, Alicia, and thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll reconvene as the City Council, and we have no public hearings, no quasi-judicial public hearings, but we do have an ordinance regarding revising the term for the appointment of the Code Enforcement Board members. And at this time, we will accept citizens' comments on that. If there are any citizens that wish to comment. Okay, seeing none, we'll move forward to GA 0215.
This is the second reading of an ordinance, which I'll read by title only. An ordinance of the City of Punta Gorda, Florida, amending the Punta Gorda Code, Chapter 9A, Code Enforcement, Article 2, Code Enforcement Board, Section 9A-4, Appointment, Term, Qualifications, Composition, Organization, Paragraph C, revising the term of appointment for Code Enforcement Board members, providing for a conflict and severability, and providing an effective date.
This is the second reading. Do you have any comments, questions, concerns?
Move approval, GA 0215.
Second.
There's been a motion to approve GA 0215 and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. We now move into our consent agenda. Is there anything that anyone wishes to pull?
I would just like to make one comment on E3, the lighting requirements for Harbor Walk West.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
No.
I would like to pull E2, the event permit. So we now have citizens' comments on any of the other items related to the consent agenda, minutes, our invoice for legal, our fire department's acceptance of donations for funds for fire prevention community outreach, urban design with appropriation of $5,000 in urban forestry grant funds, and our lighting requirements. Monthly litigation report. Thank you. Any comments? Okay, seeing no comments, then we will...
Move approval of the remaining consent
Can I just
agenda.
make my comment first, or you want me to do it after?
Didn't you pull that item?
No, I just want to make a comment.
Make a comment.
Oh,
Can I
okay,
do that now?
Sure.
I want to make a comment about that item, too.
Okay, so let's do that before we approve it. I'm glad this came about now, this possible conflict with our plan for our Harbor Walk, and I certainly hope that DOT understands what we're trying to do in our park and is lenient and works with us, because I would hate to see a MIRT-style lighting in Gilchrist Park. So Howard has assured me that he'll keep us posted on how this moves forward, but I really feel strongly that I do not want stanchion lighting or anything of that sort in the park. So hopefully we can work through this and get our grant and not have any more issues or redesigns or reconsideration. So that was my only comment.
Thank you.
I agree. I mean, that's too much lighting for that park. I mean, I happen to live there, and I know when they installed new lights across the street at the boat club, I had to get like blackout curtains. I mean, it's very bright, and it's a residential neighborhood, so putting that much lighting, our parks aren't, you know, it's dawn to dusk. I mean, really, there's...
Yes, Tom?
Is this something that we might want to mention at the MPO meeting to Billy Hadaway of the FDOT to try and really get this resolved sooner rather than later? Because if it's an issue that's going to hang out there, I wouldn't want to see it interfere with our progress in construction at the park.
I think that if Howard and staff are working through this, they could let us know, and we can move before the MPO meeting, because it won't be for another couple months. So, but I think we can follow up with Mr. Hadaway. Howard, did you have a comment?
You know, the city has about close to $1.8 million in federal grant money that we're putting towards this park. If we didn't have that much money on the line helping us, the federal requirements are such that I would be recommending to council just to forget it. But you can't forget it when you have $1.8 million on the line. That's just too much money. So we're working it. We think the FDOT folks who are managing the grant from their standpoint understand it. We know they understand the issue. We cannot have lighting that we have on the US 41 MIRT by the CVS. That's unacceptable. So I think they understand that. Any updates?
He's always so willing to come to the podium.
For the record, Mike Chardula with Weiler Engineering. I don't have anything to update specifically to this, but I have talked to the DOT, and I think in concept they are in support of reducing the lighting requirements. It's just the process, you know, the bureaucratic process that they need to give a formal approval. Hopefully, when I go back to my office today, I will send an email which has a revised lighting criteria, and within not too long, they will respond and say this is acceptable, and then we'll be done with this. So that's the easiest case.
Great.
And if I could ask a question, you had made a reference to stanchion lighting. Would that be the large post lights? Because I can say that the design spec that we have now is to use the same lights that you guys have used elsewhere in the city. They're the same post lights with the same globes. They're LED, so they shine the bright light. But what we're trying to do is use less of them to achieve a lesser light level. Now, those things with being the bright white, when you look at them and you stand near one, they're still going to be that bright white, but there's going to be less. So that's the direction that we have right now. We previously had some high pressure sodium lights, which would glow more of a yellow color and maybe not be more intrusive, but they don't have the benefits of using an LED in terms of energy consumption.
Tom, did you have a comment?
So, yes, so the goal then, Mike, is for the entire lighting in the park to be consistent one area to the next. Is that?
Correct. Right now we have 2.5-foot candles on all of the shared use paths and sidewalks and 1-foot candle on the parking areas. And what we're going to move towards is 1-foot candle everywhere.
Any other comments?
No, I'm in total agreement.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'll accept a motion then
Move
to...
approval of the remaining, or the remaining
Second.
consent agenda.
Okay,
But we
it's
still
been moved
have-
and seconded to approve the remaining components of the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I wanted to pull the lighting requirements for Harbor Walk West.
We just
No, we
approved
just
it.
did that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, the event permit, excuse me. I have 3 circled and an arrow there. I apologize. This particular permit requires or is asking for, to allow the event to occur, pull this here, with a night run beginning, I can't even find when the time is beginning here.
8:30, I believe it is.
Right, but when time does it begin? I saw that the information in terms of the application.
I thought it was 8:30.
Something like 8:30 and then
Yes.
not completing until midnight.
It's on page 4 of the attachment.
Thank you. Sometimes with our new system, it's a little bit harder to find. And then, so that the start time would be 8:30 and not, it says the end time of the event would be 10 PM, but then everything would continue to go on till midnight. That, it seems to me to be too long. That's in Gilchrist Park. Again, that's a neighborhood area. All of our other events end by 11. It would seem that that would be an appropriate time to complete it. So I would like to suggest that the event planners begin earlier with their event so that they can have their final parties and everything to finish up by 11. It just seems that going to midnight is not, would not be acceptable to the neighborhood. I don't know how the rest of you feel.
Kim, you live there. What?
I think that if it goes to midnight, we will get some complaints.
I mean, we've gotten complaints before for things that go past 11 o'clock. And I think 11 o'clock has been our cutoff point downtown and should be continued. Yes?
For the record, Terry Tubbs, zoning official. In Lashley Park, 10 o'clock is the cutoff for
Okay, 10
anything
o'clock.
that is amplified.
Yes, Howard?
The event organizer just left.
Hmm.
I don't know why. However, what I do know about the run is that the night runs are becoming more popular.
Yes.
They're a thing to do now. We're not the only one doing them. They're becoming a lot, that's the thing to do now. Is to, instead of early morning runs, which they're out there, but they have night runs. So I think the issue is, that's being expressed is, should we still be having the music and the party going on till midnight? I don't know about the 8:30 start. Seems reasonable. It's a night run. Maybe you want to ask them to close it up shop around 11 as opposed to midnight.
Well, I guess that's that. I mean, it doesn't matter what time they start, but if they feel that they need the extra time for their party, that's what's going to be my suggestion. You know, start a little earlier, but end by 11.
I can agree with that only because if this event wants some, I don't know if it's amplified or what their entertainment is planning to be, but we could be opening another door to that in Gilchrist Park, and then we'll have to talk about the time. So I think it's good to nip it in the bud early. And like Kim said, you know, in the music, you don't always know the source of it. Just like the guy who was calling and saying was coming from the Life Care Center or something. He thought they were partying all night long, but it was coming from somewhere else. You don't always know the source of the sound, but it carries. You know, it's going to carry. The wind. Yeah, it's going to carry. Even, I mean, I live a mile or so from Slipknot, but when that joint was jumping, I mean, I could hear it loud and clear. So I think it's probably good to set a time now so we avoid some of the complaints.
Anything else, Nancy?
No, I think it's good.
Just a question, was there a reason that they needed to keep it going until 12 in the morning? Was there any, I mean...
Just based, I'm sorry for the record, Terry Tubbs. Based on the application, it's their award ceremony. I mean, the amplification might just be announcements. I do not know exactly what that would be, but...
I would have liked to have had a little more detail on the thought that went into, you know, usually, I mean, 12 o'clock is a bit late. If there was a reason for it, I would have liked to have heard that from, it would have been nice if Sherry had
I think we have a consensus, though, to end by 11.
11. Okay.
Okay? Thank you.